and girls. I'm Mr. Barry from the local Kiwanis Southport-Oak Island Club, and welcome to our Kiwanis Reading Corner. We are reading books to our favorite boys and girls since we can't come see you as often as we used to. And today I have a special book. I hope you all know your alphabet because we're going to learn the letters of the alphabet, and we're going to look at different types of food that start with the different letters in the alphabet. So I'll ask you what the letter is and then what the food is. So today I'm going to read to you a book called An Edible Alphabet. And as you can see, it's by Bonnie Christensen. So let's get started. Does everybody know the first letter of the alphabet? I think you all probably know it's A. And who knows what these big red juicy fruits are that grow on a tree? Did you say apple? I'll bet most of you did. So A is for apple. And what color are they? Right, they're red. Big red juicy apples. What's the second letter of the alphabet? A, B. And if these berries are what color? Blue, I'll bet you they are blueberries. So there you are. The second letter of the alphabet is B, and blueberry starts with B. Now, I'll bet you most of you know what these are. When you go munch, 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 and you're eating corn on the cob, what letter does corn start with? C, A, B, C. And there is C, and you see the kids are sitting around eating their corn on the cob. So far, so good. Now, what's the fourth letter of the alphabet? A, B, C, D. This is a special seasoning that people use in cooking called dill. Looks like somebody's name, it would be Bill, but it starts with the D for dill. And then what's after D? E. Do you recognize the E? And anybody know what that big round purple vegetable is? That's eggplant. I'll bet you've had eggplant, but I'll bet you didn't know it was a big purple thing like that. And who's looking at the eggplant? A big old chicken. I think he must want to have a bite of that eggplant. What do you think? Now, A, B, C, D. Anybody know F? And F is for something you might have heard of called a fig. And see, they grow on trees. Anybody like fig Newtons? Mr. Barry loves fig Newtons. That's what goes into those cookies, figs. Now, you'll know the next one, F, G. What are these purple things that come in bunches and grow on a vine? Everybody like grapes? Sure you do. Look at all the grapes on that tree that the boys and girls are picking. So we're up to G. Now, let's review. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Anybody know H? There's the letter H. And these little things growing on the tree, those nuts are called hazelnuts. A lot of people like hazelnut flavoring in their coffee. That tastes real good. Now, here comes a really silly one. What's the next letter? I. And the only word we could come up with that's a food that starts with I is something called Hypomia. Now, just so you know for someday, Hypomia is a wild potato vine, and it's actually grown by the Native Americans years ago, and it's kind of like a sweet potato. I know you've had those before. So if anybody ever asks, now you know what an Hypomia is and what letter? I. So we have G, H, I. How about J? Now, there's the letter J. And who's eating these berries? You see them? A little baby bear. These are called Juneberries because I think they must bloom in June. See, June, like the month? Juneberries. And the little bear's eating away. After J comes K. I'll bet you've all had kale at one time or another. See, it's a big leafy green vegetable. Kind of looks like lettuce a little bit, but darker, but it's a lot stronger. So K is for kale. So we did G-H-I-J-K. How about L? And I bet you know what these yellow things are that are growing on trees. If you bite one, you go, because they're real sour, and a lot of people squeeze them into their tea. How about lemons? You knew that, didn't you? So lemon, right there, starts with the letter L, and after L comes M. And guess what this is? It's maple syrup. See, they're draining the maple syrup from the maple trees. And what do you put maple syrup on? Your pancakes, of course. And that's how they make maple syrup. So maple is M. So we're halfway through the alphabet. Are you doing good? Now, I think you'll know this letter, M, N. And N, it's another letter that not many foods start with, so they came up with this thing called nasturtium. Now, what is that piece of kind of food? It's a garden plant with a bright red, yellow, orange flowers, and it's got a peppery flavor that you use on salad. So kind of a seasoning kind of thing. Now, everybody knows the next letter, O. And you know what O stands for? These are oats. And who likes to eat oats? Right, horsies. So O is oat, and that's a horsie's favorite food. Now, I'll bet everybody out there gets the next one. O, P, and what are these big orange things? In fact, Halloween's coming next month, and what do we carve up at Halloween? Right, pumpkins. So pumpkins start with P. Then after P comes a letter that gives everybody trouble because it just isn't used much. Good old Q. Queen is always a word we say starts with queen. Well, quince is the food that starts with the letter Q, and quince is kind of a yellowish fruit that grows on a small tree, and it's used in making jellies that helps preserve jelly for your toast and PBJ sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly. Now, if you look real close, the next letter, of course, is R. What kind of berries are those? See, they're real dark red and kind of bumpy looking. Raspberries. I'm sure you've had raspberries. Raspberries starts with R. You can see the little girls picking them from the vine. Now, here comes a letter most people get. S, right? And what kind of flowers are those? Sunflowers, because they look like a big bright sun. In fact, what's that up in the sky? The sun. So sun and sunflower starts with the letter S. Now, if you go R, S, you must know T. And T, I think you'll know this vegetable. It grows on a vine close to the ground, and you put it on your sub sandwiches. How about tomato? There's tomato with the letter T. Now after T comes the letter U. And this ulu plant comes from Hawaii. And people cut it up and eat it in Hawaii. But most of us have never had ulu, but there it is. It starts with the letter U. After U, do you know what comes next? S-T-U-V? Now, V begins the letter for vanilla. So most of us like chocolate ice cream. Anybody like vanilla ice cream? Well, these beans come off the vanilla plant, and that's how they make the flavor vanilla. So V for vanilla. Now, I'll bet most of you had this fruit this past summer. What's the next letter? U, V, W. And what are those kids eating? Look real close. Watermelon. Yeah, look at that. W starts watermelon. I hope you all got that one right. Now, here comes another silly food because it's a letter that isn't used much. Most people say X marks the spot. And look at this food here. And Mr. Barry has to look at it again. It's xanthoryza. I've never heard of that either. But it's a yellow root, and it actually grows in the Appalachian Mountains, which is nearby, and goes into medicines to help your tummy feel better. So anyway, there's X. What comes after X? Of course, Y. Now, Y starts yam. Yams are just like sweet potatoes, and people make sweet potato or yam pie out of the yams, and who do they serve it with a lot? Turkey. Right, you see it a lot at Thanksgiving. And then what's the last letter of the alphabet? X, Y, Z. And Z is a big old vegetable called zucchini. They're usually long and green, and Mommy and Daddy will slice them up and fry them in a frying pan, and they taste delicious. Now, I know most of you can sing the ABC song, and I'd like you to sing along with Mr. Barry and show me you know your alphabet. So are you ready? Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job. Give yourself a hand, kids. So again, this is Mr. Barry. We just read An Edible Alphabet by Bonnie Christensen. I'm from the Kiwanis Club in Southport-Oak Island, and this is the Kiwanis Reading Corner. And I hope you enjoyed the book and keep learning your alphabet. Take care and bye-bye.